It's been great. Obviously, the people at Ohio State are awesome, so we have a ton of support here to make this thing happen in a big way. So I've really just enjoyed getting to know all the people here on campus, getting to know our players, which that's still kind of a work in progress, and we'll take another step with that next week when we start working them out on the court. But it's been a whirlwind. It's been a tough deal for me and my family because they're still in Seattle, but overall it's been just absolutely tremendous so far.
Let's start with recruiting. You came in here, wanted to hit the ground running, and I guess one of the big things was putting a fence around the state, not letting these players come out. Now, I'm not talking about specific players, but how has been recruiting and how receptive are Ohio players, high school players, and what's it been like out on the road?
Obviously I can't be specific about any one player, but in general, we've gotten a great response from the people that we've reached out to. Clearly Ohio State's a special place. People recognize that. And so now with the new staff and the new energy moving forward, people have been really receptive to what we're talking about with this program.
How did you put together the staff? What were you looking for, and what did you get?
Yeah, one of the big things for me is I want a staff that can really, really help our players develop. And I think with a combination of Joy, Patrick, and Mark with our full-time assistants, and then Beth so far, and one more to go, I've really got some quality people that can really impact the young people in our program and help them be the players, the people, and the students that they should be.
Joy, did you know Joy personally?
Yeah, I knew Joy a little bit, but she certainly has a tremendous reputation in our business. She's very bright, energetic, and I think a real star in the making in our profession. So I'm really, really pleased to have her. And with her, previous playing experience and coaching experience at Duke, I think she's going to make an immediate impact on the program.
Was she at the top of the list of people you wanted to try?
Yes, at the very top. When I got the job and I started to kind of do some research and talk to some people, her name kept popping up as one of the best assistants in the game. And very specifically, I wanted someone that could really kind of help craft a recruiting strategy that not only would be very impactful in the state, but would give us a national reach. And with her experience at Duke, she can certainly do that. I think she'll also be a tremendous role model for the young women in our program.
With Mark, you said you knew him from Xavier days, right?
Yeah, I've known Mark quite a while, and certainly have known of his success at Taft. And also, we have a lot of mutual friends. I have a lot of friends in men's basketball that think very highly of him. So, as I kind of look for someone who could round out our staff, with already having had Patrick and Joy on board, Mark really came to mind because he's great at player development, and he would really help me craft an exciting style of play. And then also, he's been a great mentor to a lot of young people throughout his life.
There is an elephant in the room, I guess, and you're not allowed to talk about that. But
that daggone NCAA, they make it tough on us, don't they? Yeah.
But you knew him as a coach. You knew his style of play as a coach.
Yeah, I've known him for a long time and his style of play. And ironically, he's at Taft High School. And when I first got the job at Xavier, my wife and we moved into a house in downtown Cincinnati, which was about 3 blocks from Taft. And so just in general, that's more of a side story than anything. But I've certainly known of him as a coach and how successful he's been. And I really, really liked what he brought to our program in terms of what Joy and Patrick already brought with their experience, and what he brought, I thought really helped round out what I think could be one of the best staffs in the country, and a staff that can help us do what we ultimately want to do and win a national championship.
And you've known Patrick for a while too, correct?
I've known Patrick for quite a while. I think he's obviously one of the bright young coach in our game. His experience at Ohio State and having been a student here and been in the program really helps me get a handle on how we can best sell the university and how we can best utilize the resources that we have at our disposal here.
That's not awkward, though, is it, to have a guy who's on one staff coming back with you?
Well, I think if it's the right person, it's not. And that was the biggest thing. And, as I reached out to people here on campus and in the department, obviously everyone thought very highly of Patrick and his work ethic and what he's done to positively impact this program already. As I reached out to people in the state and in recruiting circles, his name kept coming up as someone who's works very hard, is very diligent, very professional. And so, I knew him I had my own experiences with him, but I also wanted to get a little bit more experience for what it's been like with him at Ohio State, and everything came back so positively. I was really excited to have the opportunity to keep him on.
And you do think it is important to have somebody who can talk about what that getting to Ohio State, what it's like being a student here?
I think so. I mean, this is one of the most special places in the whole country in terms of your experience as a student, certainly as a student athlete. And he's got great perspective on that, having been a student here and just having a lot of experience being at Ohio State and having lived in Columbus. It's a really unique thing here, but he brings that perspective that he can help me and how we kind of craft our message.
When you talk about bringing guys in and staffs and whatnot, you were in Ohio for a long time. They moved to Washington, coming back. Has that made it easier for you to kind of get familiar again with everybody here in Ohio?
Yeah, in general, whether it be hiring staff or trying to hit the ground running with recruiting, having spent most of my life either in the Midwest or specifically in Ohio, obviously that's a great background for me. And so I feel like, although I spent 2 years on the West Coast, that I was really able to hit the ground running.
Have you got that sense from people you've talked to, coaches who think that they understand that you're back in Ohio now and you kind of hit the ground running?
Yeah, and I think just, it's kind of a new era, obviously, here at Ohio State. So that's been the biggest thing, just kind of getting my message out as to what we're going to do with this program, how we're going to run it, and what I want to do with, as a new face of the program. So, but it's been fun. That's an exciting thing. Obviously, this place is really, really special and very powerful. So to have the opportunity to kind of get that message out has been a great thing for me.
When you talk about the players program, and what does that mean?
What that means is, we want to be at the very best in all of college basketball in helping our young people develop as students, as players, and certainly as young women. And it kind of comes into three phases when you talk about a players program, though. Certainly, most importantly, our current student athletes and how I just described it. But also that means our former players. We have a really, really proud tradition here. We've had a lot of great people come through this program, and we want to make sure that they feel comfortable with what we're doing, how we're doing it, and that they are very much a part of this program. And then lastly, our future student athletes, which would tie into recruiting. And so when you look at current players, former players, and future players, that's kind of what I mean by a players program, and that we need to, at all times, be working to develop ourselves in those areas.